We are live. It's that
Yeah,
easy.
nice.
Can you believe it? As the most tech not savvy person, I'm like able to do it. And I have yet to, well, okay, I'm going to jinx myself. I've yet to fail at this particular tech enablement.
Oh,
Some of the other live streams don't work so well, but this has been good. So hi, so awesome to see you, Rodolphe.
yeah, for me too.
I know we were just talking. Okay, I'm talking as if people know who you are. So we'll do a little intro and then we'll get into our hair conversation because we were starting to have it and it was interesting. Okay, so anyone who's joining or watching this later, probably know me by now. I'm Lynn. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Masami, and I love talking about, oh my gosh, all of our hair, our formulations, clean beauty, conscious beauty, cross-border insights, all this stuff. And that's what we're going to get in today because we've got an incredible guest, Rodolphe, who is like a hair genius and he's got amazing products. We were really, really fortunate to have his products at the Conscious Beauty Collective. If you want to get him now, though, you're going to have to reach out via his website, right? Or social media, or ping him and find out how to get him because they're not super easy to find in the US. But welcome. Thanks for talking.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I'm really happy to be there and to share my job and my passion with you and with the Beauty Conscious Collective. So it's really, really important for me because it's a great opportunity for us to begin in the States for the retail, and because we work a lot for salons owners, but it's so complicated for us because we are in France. So to promote, to explain, and to share our DNA to the consumer, it's not easy because it's far away.
Yeah, I mean, that is the challenge. It's like, how do you, going into any retailer, right? Like, how do you represent your products when you're not physically there? Because this is one of the insights I found from the store is that when there's a founder in the store, whether it's me or another founder, sales are triple that day. Because, we know how to talk about the brands. We know how to talk about clean beauty. We know how to, engage someone in a conversation about what they need. Not that my employees aren't awesome, they're great, but they're marketing interns, right? So they just don't have the same depth of knowledge. And I think that explains why my brand has struggled when we've gone into like other pop-up type situations and other retailers and we haven't sold anything. I think it's because if there isn't somebody knowledgeable there, it's just really, really hard. And, when you go into like a show fields and there's a lot of different staff, you might train one person and then the next day they're not there, so it's difficult, right?
It is definitely. Yeah.
But okay, but your focus has been on salons. So let's talk about your background.
So I began like 17 years ago as a colorist, hair colorist for conventional salons with franchise salons named Jacques Desange. And I began as a colorist, but I developed allergies, a lot of allergies on my skin and in my hands. And it was too complicated for me to continue. And I decided to stop and to begin a formulator school to be a formulator. So, and to know more about ingredient lists, compounds, why we need to use kinds of compounds on the formulas, because my way of thinking was at that time, it was what can I do to change something for our health, for clients' health, for professionals, and also for environment. Complicated, and you know that because you have your brand too. And after my school, so 4 years of school as a formulators, I began with 3 products: shampoo, conditioner, and leave-in. It was really, really good, but just 3 products, it's complicated to find a market, but I was so impressed and I was so happy to create a real clean product for my clients in my salons, because I have 4 salons in France, Paris and west of France. So for my clients, it was so important to share and use good product for them. So 3 products to begin. So I begin my first products, like my first launch was 7 years ago.
Mm.
And then I developed more and more products because it was a real success in France first. Then I began to sell products to salon, to independent salon everywhere in France,
Mm.
with training sessions too. And finally, some other countries know about me in magazine, in social media, and on basically on the internet. And it was so cool for me to share my passion as a colorist, but also as a formulator, owner of products, founder of concept of salons plus products, to share my passion everywhere, and then now I continue to work in this kind of work everywhere, and I want to begin in the States. Of course, we are now in Canada, we begin in Mexico, so I would like to be in the States for sure, because we know that a lot of Americans want to use clean and real clean products.
Oh my God, I love everything you're saying. You're speaking my language. So the interesting thing, and there's a couple things I want to dig into a little bit more, but I love how you talked very holistically about it's not just the formulas, it's
Not
the
a brand.
environment, it's all those pieces together. And I think a lot of brands don't think that way. They just think about one piece,
Yeah.
and it's limiting, but you're thinking very incredibly visionary, right? You're big picture, and that is really hard to do. Okay, so for anyone who watches this, it's really hard to do really high performing clean hair care. It's not that easy, because when you take out the stuff that, at least in the US, customers are used to foam, right? Sulfates. There's a brand here, I forgot which one is doing it, but there's actually a brand that decided they wanted to do like more sulfates instead of getting rid of sulfates, because of the whole clean conversation that's been going on.
Yeah.
Which I think is like so weird to me, that you would actually like put more bad stuff in your product, but that's because US customers like want that sudsing experience, and they're just not, it's taken a while to get them to understand that clean products perform differently, but can perform incredibly well. And I think you've achieved that, and you have multiple different types of products that work for different things, which is great. So, okay. So I wanted to ask you though, when you were having your own, like you were talking about allergies or skin issues, right? Which sort of led to your epiphany to kind of like do this. Did you ever get to the bottom of what it was that was causing them? Do you know the ingredient, or is it just this toxic formulation?
Yeah, it was like for hair coloring and also bleaching products. It was the fume, with ammonia and persulfates and MEA and pigments like PPD, PTD, resorcinol, and a lot of other these kind of ingredients. It was so sensitive ingredients for everybody's, but for us as a sensitive person, I had allergies.
Well, and you're interacting every day with these ingredients.
Every day,
That's
and
the problem.
my hands was like completely red.
Oh my God.
It was terrible. I can't continue to like to take a bag when I go to the supermarket. It was impossible to touch my hands. So no,
That's so interesting. It's so interesting because so many of our founders that are in the Conscious Beauty Collective launch their businesses because they've had their own health issues.
exactly, exactly. I remember that. I
Yeah.
remember that.
And
It
that's very
was,
powerful, right? Because it's your
yeah,
own experience. And if you're having it, other people are having it.
yeah, because we work with conscious, we work with heart, and because of our experiences, we decide to make some something new, and we want to change something. And I personally, when I decided to create my brand, it was like for myself because as a colorist,
Right.
I want to continue my job, my work for my salons, for my clients, for yeah, because we are we want to work personally with when we have like as a colorist, I had a real plan of life. I begin as a colorist, I create my salon, I sell my salon, and I finish my life because it's I'm a technician. I'm not like a business guy. So now it's different because with experiences now I do business, but
Yeah.
I do green business because of my experience. It's
Right.
exactly like you said with the other founders for the Conscious Beauty Collective. It's exactly the same with personal experience. We decide to create something new. Mm.
Yeah, I think that's very powerful because, who can relate better than you going through it and making these products that are safe? But how do we get other consumers, other people to understand the power of that? Because it's still a challenge in the US more so than Europe,
It is.
where we only have, I think it's 11 ingredients banned versus I think it's
I know.
1,300 in the EU. I mean, we follow EU standards for Masumi because of that, because it's crazy. But consumers just are still buying 90% of hair care here in the US still has either sulfates, parabens, or phthalates in it.
I know. I
It's
know. I saw that
crazy.
every time. It's terrible because in Europe you can't say natural product or natural ingredients. You can't say that organic based formula. You can't say natural based or plant based. You can't say that if your formula is not clean at all. And
Mm,
in the States, you can just like have 0.1% of formula with plant
right.
based and you're organic based. So I was so sad about this situation because I worked so hard to have a real skilled product with certification programs, with a lot of commitments for ecologic, but also for the health and environment with real cane sugar bottles, with labeling made in France, not made in China. Uh, every
Every
60%,
step. Yeah,
yeah,
you're doing everything.
60% of our ingredients are made from 100 kilometers from the warehouse
Oh,
and the
wow.
factory. 60%. It's
That's
a
amazing.
lot.
Yeah, that's really, really good.
Yeah, but it's complicated because when you begin in the States and you find everywhere organic products with nothing organic then in the product, it's terrible for us.
Well, and then there's so many different certifiers, if that's the word, where, some are better than others, right? So like you can get a certification from different, like even when we went through getting our vegan certification,
Yeah.
we did it through PETA, but there's like 10 organizations that do it and they all have different processes and different evaluation techniques, if you will. And it's the same with organic, I believe. Like you can get USDA
Yeah,
certified, which is one approach, or you can go to these other companies. And to your point,
yeah,
you don't have to be 100% organic sometimes to get that. You
yeah,
can be
sure.
partially a little, flavor of it, an ingredient here or there, and it's really
Yeah,
misleading.
But the problem is, in the States, a lot of companies say that we have a vegan formula.
Mm,
So all people think, oh, it's natural at all.
right.
But
Right.
it's
Vegan does
vegan,
not
it's not
necessarily mean
natural.
natural. Right. I know. That's the interesting thing. Vegan, and also people don't always realize you can be, let's see, you can be cruelty free, but
Yeah.
not necessarily vegan. And I
Yeah.
think you can be
Yeah.
vegan and not necessarily like there's like it's tricky because you can have a vegan ingredient
Yeah.
that your lab still tests on animals. And so therefore you're not, so you really have to, this is the hard part for consumers, right?
It's
Because
terrible for consumers.
yeah,
Terrible.
we do our best as a brand
Marketing.
to be transparent, but like it's really hard to know.
It is. It is. And it's marketing. Now you put a small green leaf with vegan or natural base or natural sulfates or something like that. All people think, oh, it's natural. No,
Right.
no, because you can't find silicones, uh, PEG, EDTA, lot of ingredients, and sulfates a lot.
I know. It's really surprising, but what do you do? Maybe the French consumer is just more evolved, so there's that. But what do you do to try to like educate and make people understand what they're putting on their body and their scalp, which is absorbent? I always have to remind people like shampoo doesn't just rinse off and it's not affecting your body. It's you're scrubbing it into your head.
We have like an app. Let me see. And in this kind of app, you can find everything about formulas. You scan the barcode, and you can find a lot of information. And each ingredient, you can find information about each ingredient.
Oh,
Let me
that's cool.
see.
Is it Think Dirty? That one is here in the US. I don't know if it's the same one.
I think so. Tac, tac, tac. Look this. Yeah. So for example, you scan a product there. Like
Yeah.
it's, of course, for us it's excellent. I'm
Yes.
absolutely,
Yes.
it is. But you have the product with the pictures with no, it's right in French, of course. No
Yes. No
silicones,
sulfates, no
no
silicones, no,
mistakes.
yep.
And then you can find every ingredients there, and each ingredients you find a description of everything. Look,
That's great. Yeah, I think that's
each,
such a useful, yeah, that's amazing. If we could get more, oh, you mother of pearl extract. That's interesting. How do you figure that out? How do you find your ingredients? Like, why would you think, like, what made you go, oh, I want to put mother of pearl extract? Is that more for the luminosity of the sort of
it was
sensorial piece?
because of proteins and enzymes, and I I worked with some laboratories, and sometimes they say that these ingredients can be good for hair industry. So I say, okay, but mother of pearl, I don't want to buy a pearl from China or from
Right.
Indonesia or from Australia. So I decide to use some shells in Brittany, northwest of France.
Ah,
So it's savage. So the EcoCert approved because it's not cruelty, and also it's like vegan friendly because it's not the shell, it's just the cover, I don't know, not inside the shell, it's not a
yeah.
real life animal, but just the cover. So
Yes.
finally it's okay, and it's better than a keratin, because keratin is sometimes from bones, sometimes from
Mm.
sheep, sometimes with lanolin, and I
Yes.
decide to use an alternative, an eco alternative, because just close to the factory, really important for me.
That
This
is
is all this.
awesome that you
Yeah.
figured that out. I mean, that is such a great example of exactly what you're talking about and how you brought it to life. So let's talk a little bit about your product line. So you started with 3 products, but what's
Yeah.
your hero product now? Do you have one?
Yeah, let me.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yay. Okay.
So this product, for example, is a color care shampoo.
Yeah.
This one is a detox. It's a scrub for scalp when you have itching scalp, or if you have like flakes or other problems like psoriasis or eczema. Uh, to explain you, I have four ranges. I have a range for professional. The name is Mineral Colors. It's a technology of coloring without chemical compounds. It's made with the name with mineral pigments. It's a direct color, so without oxidation, without peroxide, and you can't lift, but you can cover your gray hair. So it's really good.
So it
Yeah,
would work. It would
you
work. All
so
right. I gotta come to France and check that out. I gotta have that.
come in my salon.
Yes, I need to actually. You know what? I'm going to next year. Well, I'm gonna do that.
Sure, you're welcome there,
Mm.
always. So first range is Mineral Colors. It's 29 shades, and the professional can mix everything to create your own and
Yeah.
personal care and color. So that's good. We also have a bleaching products without sulfates because of my allergies. So
Yeah.
I created my products with my allergies. So it was really great opportunity for a lot of salons and professionals to use a bleaching product. You can lift more than 7 levels, so it's really really high, and you can find a really beautiful result like a chemical product with a 100% mineral
So
ingredients.
this is fascinating to me because it sounds awesome. Absolutely
It
awesome.
is. It
But
is.
like you're the one doing it who's leading the charge. Like where's L'Oreal? Where are these big companies that, should be coming up with clean products?
They make huge business just for business.
I know,
That's the
but oh
that's
my
the good thing.
God. But
I
the
know.
fact that you can, okay, keep going. I don't want to interrupt your
I
flow.
know, but I know about what you said, and I share completely what you say. So I have also a plant-based coloring. So it's completely plant-based. So you have only plant uh, from 12 till 11, yeah, 12, no, 12, 15 different ingredients to each colors. It depends what color you want to have. So you have 11 shades, the same. You can mix to create your own. It's vegan, and it's also 100% certified organic. So no other ingredient, just plants from organic farming. You need to mix with water, with mineral from bottle of water. In the States, we recommend to use with alkaline water,
Hmm.
with electrolytes water, so it's good. And you need to leave for an hour, and after an hour, your gray hair is will be completely covered.
My God,
uh,
amazing.
yeah, and no allergy is possible. So it's really good for a lot of people, sensitive people, pregnant people,
Mm.
also for cancer. Because it's recommended. Because a lot of people now can't use chemical colors because they are sensitive. So we with this product, it's possible to color to every people, every person.
Mm.
So that's good. That's the point. And the good thing is we developed as a professional line, and we developed as a consumer line
Mm.
for salons and for shop. Because by experience, I think in my heart that in my salons, the price begin at around 200 euro to do the service with the blow dry, the care, the time. You need time, so it's
Yeah.
expensive. So I decide to develop the same quality of products in the box with different stuff like gloves, notice, and shampoo, small things, and just for less than $20,
Oh, wow.
because my priority is to have the same quality of beauty everywhere. But of course, when you go to the salon, you need to pay the service. But if you don't have time or if you don't have money, you can have the same quality, but you need to ask your husband to use
Right, right. That's
to make the
interesting.
product. But yeah,
Okay.
that's the good thing for consumers. And I create also a hair care line with shampoos, conditioners, styling products, different tools, serums to help everyday women. And sometimes men about some products. But it's really good because I in France I am the only brand with this huge range with different to I can take care of each kind of hair and scalp. So that's the good thing. And we certify, of course, by EcoCert, but we also have patents. We have more than 6 patents at Rudolphe and Co. And with these patents, we can really guarantee that the product is efficient to take care of each problem and remove definitely
Yeah.
for hair loss, for blonde hair, for fine hair, for eczema and psoriasis, for gray hair. When you have too many gray hair, but you don't want to color your hair, you can use a serum
Mm.
and you can remove more than 19% of your white hair in your natural hair. It's
Hmm.
completely crazy. Uh, so we developed some technologies. I'm really bad in technology, like you with YouTube and blah blah. It's not my work. It's not my word. But my job, my passion, and my work is in the laboratory to make products, to make new technologies for consumers, for salons, for professionals, to help them every day, every year, to grow faster, efficiently, and organic and natural.
Yeah.
And also, I'm a passionate technician as a colorist, so I work each Thursday and Fridays in my salon in Paris, and I love my job definitely. Yeah,
Well, it's so great to interact with people, right? Like that's
yeah,
something that I enjoy too, and was so hard during COVID. But your salon at least gives you that outlet to be able to meet people and talk to people. So it's just so interesting to me because here you are, you're a small business owner. I mean, you're a bigger business than me, but you're not a corporation,
yeah, yeah,
and the fact that you have all these patents is really impressive because I know what it takes to do that. And it is expensive and time
yeah.
consuming
A
and
lot of
difficult.
time. Yeah,
Right. So the fact that you've gone through that effort to do that says a ton. And I just think it's incredibly impressive. And you should feel so, gosh, so amazing about what you've created and just the vision that you have. And I just really hope that other brands take your lead, right? That you can change the industry. You already are. And that's really exciting. And I think it's really commendable that
and
you're doing this work.
I love to share my passion. For example, I create like 6 products for a Japanese company because I love to change uh, about concepts. So I only create natural products, but I love to create for myself, but I love to create for everybody. Everybody wants to create their own brand with own concept. I will be there with them. I will be a coach. I will be a technician. I will be a formulator for them because I love to share and I'm not just here for my brand. And that's the point because and I love your what you do about your brand. I was so impressed about what you do because I'm exactly like you. I my priority is to share, to
Yeah.
share, to
And
share,
make
to
the
share
industry
offer.
better, right? Like I want to create a movement, and it's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's like we all need to do it because that's the way we're going to create change, which is going to be the real impact on our health and our environment. because it's hard to do it. I mean, the beauty industry is such a bad industry in terms of waste and chemicals and everything. So we got to get better as an industry. So
Yeah.
what's okay, so what's next for you? Because you've got all this stuff cooking. You must be the busiest human on the planet. Because I'm just, as you're talking about all this stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I thought I was busy, but you are like the next level. But what do you have anything in the hopper that you're working on?
I have a lot of projects. My next project is to create a new range for curly hair.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but not just a styling products, but more a treatments you can do at the salon, just to take care of your curls for more than 2 months. Each 2 months, you go to the salon to use a product to just define a beautiful curls. And in this case, you don't need to use any products. You just need to go to the salon each 2 months. Yeah. So I'm work on this beautiful project, also in organic, also in natural. Normally, the ranch will be ready beginning of next year.
Okay, well, we will
Only
keep
for
our
salad.
eyes out for that. That sounds super exciting.
It is pretty
Okay,
new.
awesome. Well, look, I've really, really enjoyed talking with you. Is there anything else you want to add before we close this out? We've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, no, I'm just, you know, I was impressed about what you do. I was impressed about other founders do in San Francisco. It's I think you share my opinion about it's we are like a family because we share exactly the same thing. We had experiences personal in the life. We want to share, we want to care for us, for others. uh, uh, yeah, I was really I was glad, I was sensitive, I was, yeah, it's so important for me to know that in the States I'm not alone now, you
Mhm.
know.
That is actually true. And that was a big part of creating the collective, was to find like-minded
Yeah,
founders where we're all kind of doing the same thing, but in our own way, and
yeah,
help each other. And I really hope moving forward, we can continue to support you and help you in whatever you
yeah.
want to do in the US. And likewise,
And you
I'm
need
coming to
to,
your salon in
yeah,
France. So it'll be
and
great.
you need to continue what you do in your country. If I can help you to make it in Europe, I promise I will do my best because I'm totally in love with what you do. So
Love it.
as I told you last time in the San Francisco, I really want to continue with this in the States, but I think it's possible to make it everywhere because I think we
Yeah.
create like families, business, niche products everywhere, everywhere.
I agree. And I think that's the bigger idea. And again, you're very visionary. So you're seeing it at the very biggest level, which I love. But that is the point. I mean, everyone has hair everywhere, right? So we should be able to make an impact, not just in our little place we live, but everywhere. And I love that. Well,
Mm.
this has been awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know it's late for you,
Yeah,
but
thank
it was
you
a
too.
fun conversation, and I'm going to share it out. And I hope people take away some good nuggets from this, because there were so many. And
Yeah,
we will definitely stay in touch. And yeah, when I go to Paris, I'm going to be really vocal about it so everyone can see the before and after hair.
please, please.
That'll be fun. I love it. All right. Well, thank you and have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.